Simon, you heard this a short time ago. I'm very keen to get Carl's view on it. Anthony Joshua, where's his mind? What's his mindset going into this fight against Otto Wallen this weekend? This was his latest interview, if you can call it an interview, with TNT Sport. In the build-up to the fight, when AJ seemingly was not all that open to opening up.
You're quite different to how you were yesterday. You were nice and relaxed yesterday. Today you seem to have retreated a little bit further into fight mode.
Correct. What do you make of Wallen? Like, he's a tough opponent. We see that against Fury. The shot I'm expecting to see from you is the shot that you threw against Martin, against the southpaw, the right hand straight down the middle. Is that something you're going to be looking for?
100%. Definitely.
It's been a lively week with Jarrell Miller. He seems to be coming after you every chance he gets. What have you made of him?
The drug cheat.
Is that a fight you'd entertain?
No, definitely.
At no point, no.
No way, no. Him and Dylan will make a good fight. All good?
And that was that. Now, Carl, I saw you listening to it, what there was of it. Where do you think Joshua's minded? Does that tell us a lot of the focus that he's got?
Well, that interview was short and sweet and to the point, and he was kind of not engaging. So whether he's in a bad mood or whether he's got some kind of beef with one of the guys, I know he's friendly with Darren Barker because he's part of the team of Eddie Hearn. But I just think he's trying to come across very, very matter of fact and down to business. And he called Jarrell Miller a drug cheat, which is fair enough. He is. So there was nothing kind of wrong with what he said, but the manner in which he put it across could be you could think that's very rude. And not very nice to be doing interviews like that. But this close to a fight, sometimes your head's in different places. So hopefully he means business and he's not going to let any distractions get in his head. But we won't know until that first bell goes where he is mentally, to answer your question. We're not going to know till he shapes up and starts throwing that jab and starts putting that right hand at the back of the jab.
I saw you were enjoying that. You
I'm
like
all right
that
with
from
it.
Joshua.
I'm all right with that. When I saw him in an altercation earlier on in the week with Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's there to create controversy. He's there to be the noise because for Christ's sakes, and as I said yesterday in the press conference, where Daniel Dubois was a mute, Deontay Wilder's found God, and Anthony Joshua was monosyllabic. So we needed Jarrell Miller to be a bit vociferous. But I also think that I saw him, Anthony, engaging with Miller in the corridors of hotels, and I said to Michael Jarman the other day, why is he getting involved with him for? Why don't you just tell him he's a drug cheat and bugger off? And I'm not suggesting that's why he's done it, but I actually quite like it. And what's he supposed to say? Someone says you're fighting a southpaw, the straight shot down the middle is the one. Yeah. What does he want to do? Explain his game plan? I'm all right with it. I hope that he carries that menace into the ring.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get that, and that's what we're going to find out, isn't it?
I mean, when you look at what Deontay Wilder is saying about Joshua, I've always thought Joshua was mentally weak. This has not just started. I've always thought that he had a very weak mentality, especially when it comes to fighting me. It's no secret. So is Wilder right about the Joshua mindset? Is Joshua very weak?
I don't think he's always been mentally weak. I think it started since the Ruiz sort of beat down, and he got badly beaten up against Ruiz, and he got dropped a couple of times. Then he was kind of forced to quit in his corner. He could have carried on, but he got counted out on his feet, and the referee had seen something that maybe everyone else didn't see. But it was kind of the fight could have gone on. Tell the referee you're good, you're in good shape, you want to fight. Get your hands up by the side of your face and say let's go. And the referee would have said carry on, box, but he didn't. AJ was sitting around in the corner, looking at his corner, feeling sorry for himself, just been dropped twice, probably shell-shocked, maybe concussed, he'd been down quite heavy. Since that point, he's not had that venomous, that aggressive come-forward style and that finishing ability. And the two losses to Usyk, I mean, he's been brave taking on Usyk.
Yeah.
Rob McCracken did advise him, maybe this fight we don't need to try to give him a way out of that. And AJ was like, no, I want to take him on. I fancy it. After seeing him against Derek Chisora, which Usyk might have been very clever, just taking his time with Chisora, which I think he did. AJ thought, I'll fight him. But I do think since the Ruiz stoppage, the beatdown he got from Ruiz, I do think he's been a bit tentative and a bit mentally fragile.
So going into this weekend, Carl, out of the two of them, Wilder and AJ, who is a more flawed fighter?
I think when you say flawed, I mean, Deontay Wilder's more limited. He's not really got that boxing ability because he's just got one big right hand. He can box and move and he's getting better, but he's just looking to render people unconscious with that big right hand. AJ can box and move, Olympic gold medalist. He's had a good career. Look at his resume. He's took on all challengers in what's been quite a limited heavyweight division of this era. We go back to the Mike Tysons and the Holyfield and the Riddick Bowe's and that. It's not that sort of cream, but he's taken on all comers. AJ, you've got to give him his credit. But I'll go back to the Ruiz loss, and since then, that mental fragility I think is still there, and he's still got a lot to prove in that boxing ring, and that's why Saturday for me is so exciting.
I think Carl's spot on.
Well, I think
that.
he's right.
Why Saturday is so
every time
appointment to view, appointment to listen.
Every time Anthony Joshua steps in the ring, it's a challenge for him because the expectation and the observations upon him. I don't think he's mentally weak. I think he's fragile. I think Carl's expression is absolutely right. In the same way that Wilder was fragile when he's making every single excuse after Fury handed him his head. You know, from the weight of his costume to what was in Fury's glove. So we can have it both ways, can't we?
Absolutely.
You know, the fight I'm always wanting, and I don't know whether we'll see, is Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, because I think that's a shootout, and I think it's a fascinating fight, and you're going to see someone get knocked out. But I think, like Carl, there's a possibility that Anthony will end up going down the IBF route and getting a world title as a result of fighting Filip Hrgović, who in his own right is a decent fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter. But I think that there's some fascinating fights, and I think Parker versus Wilder is a fascinating fight because Parker is a decent fighter. You know, obviously we saw him get knocked out by Joe Joyce, and everyone then went on the journey with Joe, which caught up with him against Zhilei Zhang because he believed that he could then take everyone's punches and offer his chin up, and got found out that he couldn't.
Yeah.
In this instance, you know, you've got Joseph Parker that's a very, very capable heavyweight champion at one point, and the big accusation about him was he didn't let his hands go. He did against Joe Joyce. It'll be interesting to see if he can stay out of the way of Deontay Wilder and yet land. There may yet be a challenge for Wilder in that fight.
Parker might just win every round
until
he
then
gets
get
knocked
pinged.
out.
Yeah.
And that's how that one might go.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, well, let's do that one first then. Deontay Wilder against Joseph Parker. Where is that fight, Carl, going to get won and lost?
I think if Wilder doesn't get his distance and his timing and he doesn't get that range with that right hand and doesn't start to connect, and don't forget you can connect at any stage in that 36 minutes, that 12 3-minute round fight, if he lands at one point, it's going to be game over for Joseph Parker, as it is with everybody he hits on the chin, except for Fury, who rose from the dead in that fight.
Lazarus.
But Parker can make it awkward for him. He's got to keep away from the right hand, probably get close to him. If Parker tries to box on his back foot and keep out his way, Wilder's a tall guy and he's got range, and his power is at range. And if you give him momentum, the power's even worse. So if Wilder's coming towards you and you're trying to pick him off and outbox him and stay out that way and you're fighting scared, you're probably going to get knocked out. I don't think he has. He's not a massive puncher. He's got enough power to command a bit of respect, but he's not going to really hurt Wilder early doors. I think he needs to take it to Wilder. Take it to him off the angles and to get on his chest, tie him up, hit him on the way in, try and get him on the way out, and just keep out of the way of that right hand. If you close the gap with an opponent and they're smothering the work and they can't tee off with that big right hand, like Wilder swings it, doesn't he? He swings it over the top, swings it round the side, throws it through the middle. If you close that distance, similar to what Tyson Fury did when they fought 3 times, especially the second one, I think it was. But Tyson Fury is 6'9" and nearly 20 stone. Parker isn't. So I'm not suggesting he takes him on and tries to lean on him because he's smaller, Parker is. But he needs to close that gap and take away that momentum and distance from Wilder.
So you give Parker a real chance?
I'll give him a chance, yeah, because the inactivity of Deontay Wilder, 2 years he's had 1 round. I mean, I remember when I retired after a year and I spoke to my coach, Rob McCracken, and I said, what do you reckon about fighting Chavez Jr? And he was like, Carl, you've had almost a year out the ring. He says, it's too long. 1 year out the ring's too long. You can't come back and do it. I'm like, but a year out, is it really that bad? And it is. So it depends what Wilder's been doing in the gym and who he's been sparring and how he's been living his life. But at 38 years old, is he 38 or 39?
38.
He's getting on.
Yeah.
So this could go wrong.
So as a fighter, Carl, turn your attention briefly for us to Joshua against Wallen. Again, the same question. Where is that going to be won and lost?
I think if AJ tries to box and move and keep out of the way again and tries to just dominate on the outside like he does do, he's safety first now, isn't he? I mean, we're saying about his weak mind, his mental fragility. Let's move away from that. Let's just say he's changed his style and he's trying to be a boxer. He's trying not to get clipped. The best plan in boxing, we say plan A and plan B and plan C, whatever. Plan A is always hit your opponent and don't get hit back. That's the best way to win a fight. So AJ goes in there, he tries to hit Otto Wallin and not get hit back. He's going to be getting caught by Wallin because he's got fast hands. He's quite a capable boxer. He's tidy. He's light on his feet and he moves well and he throws combination punches and he comes into the ring with belief and he comes in there thinking AJ's a bit weak mentally, which he's pointed out. So maybe I'll just stick it on him and when he comes to hold, I'll shove him off and I might get my head in there and I might hit him low. Whatever rough ass tactics he might be able to pull off. So if Otto Wallin takes it to AJ, then AJ's got to do one or two things. Either run scared and try and get behind his jab and lose on points.
Meet fire with fire.
Or meet him as he comes.
Yeah.
Meet him in the middle of the ring. Hit him as he comes. And I think AJ takes him out. But it's all, again, we'll go back to where AJ's mind is.
What do you think of Wallin? What do you mean? A
Not a
lot's
bad
made
fighter,
about
is
him.
it? Listen, he's only lost once. His last win was against Gassiev. I know it was a bit of a stinker, people are saying, but he still beat Gassiev. It was a great fighter. And what's he on, a 4-year run since Fury? 6 fights unbeaten. So he's coming in on the crest of a wave, really confident, talking well, and he's getting AJ at the right time. So this is like a pick and fight. But AJ has got the tools. He's got the toolbox to go in there and do the job and make it easy. It's just whether or not he takes that padlock that's locked the toolbox and opens it up and performs on the night. Because if he doesn't, he could be banging trouble.